Hello peoples, I am back. Yeah, it's been a long time, I know, but I found something that I really want to do and I thought I'd just, video it and show you guys how I'm going to do it. So what I have is, I don't know how you call it in English. It's that stuff you put between the tiles, when you put tiles on the wall and then grit. I think it's called grit. I guess it is. So that's what's in here. Then I have another package of a sort of a modeling chalk kind of stuff. So that's what we have. And I'm going to mix them up. I have to open it up here. So I'm getting my little cup and I'm just going to do it, I'm not going to weigh it or do anything like that, but just I need a little cup full. Let's see, about that much, maybe a little more. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. So this is 150 milliliters, so it's about half, so that'll be 75, something like that. Let me put this away. Now, I've been trying stuff out because I got this inspirational thing, where you get all these funny feelings in your stomach because you think you're going to be really creative. And this is what I made. So, see all the structure that's going on this thing? And I'll bounce it. See that? I'm bouncing it on the back. It doesn't come off. It is really, really flexible and it's on there for good. Now it wasn't like that when I started out because I was trying something out, something more organic looking, more like nature, and just eventually I sort of got into this. Now this is also a sort of a grit filler, but once I put it on here, because I mixed it with water and then I put it on the canvas and it was really totally awesome. I put some coffee grinds in here and some sand and some other stuff just to get more structure. So I let it dry and then when I did this, all big pieces started falling off, so it wasn't adhering to the canvas. Now that's a big problem because if you want to sell some art and that stuff is bouncing off the canvas, you can't have that because you'd have to sell a vacuum cleaner with your art so that people can vacuum up all the dust. So we don't want that. So what I did is I made a mixture. This is binder, just acrylic binder, any type. The brand isn't important. It's just acrylic binder, and I put in 50-50. So 50% acrylic binder and 50% of water. Depends on which acrylic binder you get. If it's already pretty thin, you won't need as much water, but mine was pretty thick. And then what I did was just brush over the whole painting. And you could see that where I touched the structure with the paintbrush full of binder, it just soaked it up. And that made it really stick to the canvas, so now it's going nowhere. But I thought, instead of making this paste with water, what about making it with the binder instead so that it'll stick on there right away? And that's the way we're going to go today. But I really like the way this is looking. I put some gold in there, here and there, as you can see. It's not ready yet because I do think the blues are too... too much bouncing off the canvas. It's too much blue. I want more muted colors, so I'm going to be painting this later. But now we're going to just make the pasty stuff because I'm going to make a 30 by 30 canvas. So we're putting a lot of binder in there. Like I said, 50-50%, but it has to be sort of like milk. That's what you're looking for. This is going to be a really long video, by the way, guys. I know I haven't been making many videos, so I thought I'd make a really long one. Okay, so as you can see, the more you mix it, the smoother it gets. There you are, look at that. That's already really nice and pasty. So I'm going to keep it, I think, like this, because I already made another one because I want to finish this video in a normal time period, not over a couple of days, but like today. But that one was a little bit too thin. And if you make this stuff too thin, then it sort of, when you put it on your canvas, it sort of mellows out a little bit too much for my liking. So we're going to do this one. Now, all you need is this stuff, and you need a palette knife, of course. And what I want to do is I want to have something going like that from the middle, going down to the corner, and then from here the same thing, so sort of a mirror image. And we're going to fix that in a bit. That looks a little better, but I want it to have like this channel, so I can put some 3D power balls. Oh, there's someone at the door. Don't know who that is. I hope my husband picks that up. Yeah, he is. So we're going to smooth that out. Smooth that out. Okay, I've got to go. Okay, I'm back. So this is what I'm looking for. More like it's going off the corner here, and there it's going off the corner there. That's what we want. Then I'm going to pick up my smaller palette knife, because I do want to sort of give it more structure all over the place. There we go. You can see it's pretty much raised, not really high, because you don't want it too high, of course, but we do want to have it coming off here. And then I want a little bit more, because I do want to raise up this a little bit here, but it has to be a little bit smooth. But it does have to have a little organic looking thing going on there. You don't want it to, that you can really see that it's been done, you know, with a palette knife, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of nice looking up there. It's not in the middle because, you know, sometimes if you have it smack in the middle, it's not going to be looking like it's really organic. Then it's sort of like you just placed it there, if you know what I'm talking about. Now everyone can do this, guys. This is no rocket science. You can just play with it, because you can, this stuff, I don't know why, I think because of the liquid binder, but you can sort of move this around for a really long time. Yeah, that's what I want, something like that. So we're going to put that back up. And of course, if you don't like what you've made, you can always take some off again. That's no problem whatsoever. But that's sort of what I'm looking for. Something. That's a little bit too much. So we'll take that back off. And then this. I do think you'll need a palette knife, because a palette knife will give you most control over the substance that you're putting on, the medium. So I think that's, maybe there's a little bit too much going on, too many stripy things going on. I'm not sure. Let's just do that again. So we put it up here, and we're going to pull it down, back up, pull it down. Let's give it a little there, flip back down. Yeah, I think that's better. What I'm looking at is only that little thing that's standing up, the ridge. That's what I'm looking at. And that's, I want it to give me something, because I want to put something between there. And now you can see the difference with all the streaky stuff going on here, and this is more, I don't know, more something that you'd see on the beach, because that's why I started doing this, because I want something beachy, because you all know I'm going to be moving. Won't be talking about it here because it's boring, but we're moving to the beach, and I want to have something beach themed. That's what I'm going for. So that's looking pretty cool. And we go up here again. Just give a little round thing. Okay, it's starting to look like what I want. This one is nice and straight. This one has a nice little curve to it. But already you can see how long you can work with this, so you don't have to be afraid that it's gonna stiffen up on you real fast, because that's not gonna happen. I kind of like what's going on here too, so I'm gonna try and get some over here. Oh yeah, there it goes. That's really nice. Okay. Now I want this a little bit more. Yep, this is up. This is what's going to be. A little bit of that down there. So we're going to let this dry, and I'm going to be back right away because I've got another one, like I said. Oh no, I'm not going to let it dry. I almost forgot what. I almost forgot the important part. Okay. So what we have is these things, and you've seen me work at this before. This is Powertex 3D bowls, and you have the really large ones. See that? You have the mediums, and then you have the really tiny ones, the small ones, and they also have sand. So that's a sort of a coarse sand that you can put on everything. But for this one, we're going to work with these three sizes, and I'm just going to sprinkle some of it on here, just really close to where these two things meet. I don't want to do it down here because I want to do some painting down there with paint effects, but up here I want some sand. Now if you want some in the middle, you'll have to use binder to adhere that onto your canvas. So I'm going to get a little brush, and we're going to brush this onto the canvas, trying not to touch too much of these ridges because we want to keep those. But now it has a nice little layer of binder. There you go. And now we're going to put the little bit of sand down there. Then we're going to go for the mediums. Mediums. And of course the bigger ones. Now I want to be careful because I've already got too many of them on the ridge, like you're seeing here. I do want to take some off because that's not what I had in mind. Maybe a few, but these have to go. Okay, they're gone. And now we're going to put the bigger ones in, but they're going to stay more in the middle because I can just imagine water coming through here and sort of washing up these bigger ones. There you go. Now what you do want is because you want them to really stay there. Just put a few drops of that medium on there, because then it'll stick to the canvas. And we're going to finish it off with a little bit of that sand. Now what I have in mind is I'm going to be painting this all really muty colors, but then everything that's raised I'm going to do with a little cloth with gold, so that it's going to give that little shimmer. So that's going to be really cool. Okay, so we're going to let this one dry, like I said, and I'll show you the other one, which I already have. It's totally different than this one though. Now this one is dry. As you can see, I put the balls more all over the place, and it's more streaky. Here I put some raised things, and as you can see, it's pretty stuck to the canvas. This won't come off because it's all binder. So binder makes your paint or pigments stick to everything. If you want to make your own paint, you take binder and you take the pigments and you sort of, you know, mix them. Some people use one of those glass things that you can sort of make the pigments really fine, and that's how they make the paint. So you could do that, but right now this is what we're going to be painting. So I'm going to stop the video for a bit. I'm going to clean up here and then get my paints, and then we're going to paint this. So be right back. Decide between Naples yellow or buff titanium, so I think I'm gonna do both. Put both of them on the on my palette. And just sort of mix it up. A little bit of water. Again, if you can find one of these bottles, they are awesome because they really give you sort of control over how much water comes out. It's really nice to have. They're really cheap. I think $2 or $3 when you got one. They call them something like laboratorium thingamajiggies. Okay. This is sort of the color I was going for, because it has to be a nice and sandy color. Only I think it's a little too thick. But then again, it does have to sort of cover the this what I'm doing down here. It does have to cover it. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, let's see if we go in between. Yeah, that works. Now, as you can see, here are a lot more of those streaky things going on than on the other one. And these ridges are really smooth. And that was what I was telling you, because if you put too much moisture in with the powders, it sort of loses its density, you know, the stiffness. So that's what you have to sort of figure out. If you add the water little by little, you'll absolutely know when to stop, because then the you know, the peaks sort of stop developing. And if that's too much for you, you can always add a little more powder, and then they stiffen up again. So that's how you do that. Now, this is a really flexible brush that I have, because it's important that you get in between all these little balls. And the more flexible your brush is, the less that they will come loose. And of course, when you paint it, that'll help them stick to the canvas even more if they're halfway loose. You never know. But you do want to get everything covered, because that's what you have to do. Ooh, there we go. Looking really cool. But I think I'll add some other color paint, because I do think it's a little too yellow, even though I see it on the monitor it's darker than it is in real life, but that's okay. I think it's just too way too dark for my liking. Yep, that's starting to look okay, but you can see where it's darker, that's where the that pasty stuff is. So we're going to come in with a little bit of titanium white in a bit, because I want to camouflage that as well as I can. But giving this a nice base layer, that's okay, that's going to work. The last time I worked with the power balls, you know, I let it dry for a couple of days, then I videoed again, then I let it dry again, then I videoed again, and a lot of people just couldn't find the rest of the video. I don't know why, but, you know, I guess not everyone knows how to search a channel on YouTube, so that's why I thought I'd do this in one go, in one video. Okay, so now, as you can see where the parts where they're darker, so we're going to get some titanium. And we're going to lighten up those dark parts. First I'm going to see how it's, if I mix it on the palette. And that's okay. So let's see, we have some going on here. I like it even better with the titanium in it, because I don't want it to be like a uniform color, because like I said, we're going for organic, so we're going to give it here and there a little bit of light like that, and up here we're going to give it a little bit of light in between here. Just sort of brushing it on. See, now it's more coming to life, because if you do it in a uniform way like I did first, you know, that's not going to be very appealing. You want something more alive. That's how I'd like to name it, more alive. So we're going to give this down here, and then we're going to go up here, come down there, there, and we're going to give it up there. Down here like that. So, and as you can see, I'm not doing straight strokes, but I'm sort of brushing them out a little bit, and that makes it look more like it's coming all together. And I think that's the problem some people have that don't understand that bit, that they sort of do a uniform thing and then forget to sort of brush out those lines that you see, and then it makes it not look too organic. Okay, that's about it. Now this has to dry, absolutely, because next what we're going to do, we're going to use a really dark transparent color, and I went for Van Dyke Brown, which is transparent, half semi, and we're going to put a sort of a glaze on top. Now when we put the glaze on, we're going to brush it off, and you'll see that everything, all those little things going on, they're going to be covered with that brown color, and then it's going to give the 3D effect. It's going to pop off the canvas. So this has to dry, and I'll be right back.